Can I tell you about my latest obsession? I cannot get enough of this pumpkin picking candle from Wisco Home Goods. The second I light it, I'm transported to all the things I love about fall. Crisp apple in the air, warm spices, a hint of hayride magic. It's like I'm walking through my favorite orchard, sipping cider, or rustling through a pumpkin patch. It's fall in a jar. And the best part, it's clean burning soy made right here in Madison. Seriously, if autumn had a scent, this is it. Get yours today. You can grab one in-store on Madison's East Side or online at wiscohomegoods.com. Madison Magnet, Dane County's premier young professionals organization's annual fete is coming up. The Magnet Fete is a night of fun and philanthropy with other young professionals in the Madison area. And they've got an exciting development to celebrate. After 2 decades of bridging connection, they're merging with the Greater Madison Chamber of Commerce. Early bird tickets are on sale through November 7th. Tickets start at $50, and y'all, you do not want to miss this fun and fabulous night. Get your tickets today at madisonmagnet.org/magnetfete. This is CityCast Madison. I'm Bianca Martin, and here's what Madison's talking about. Today, Madison is a beautifully bookish city, and the event all bookworms look forward to is the Wisconsin Book Festival's Fall Celebration. The free 4-day-long celebration kicks off this Thursday, October 23rd, and will include presentations from dozens of authors. Joining me to talk about it all is the Wisconsin Book Festival director, Jane Rotunda. Jane, hello. Welcome back to CityCast Madison.
Bianca, it's so great to talk with you and catch up with the CityCast crew. Thanks for having me.
Yes, of course. It's so good to have you. It's such an exciting time of year.
The most wonderful time of year.
It's the most wonderful time of the year in every way, truly. I'm a fall season person. Before we get started, I should mention the Wisconsin Book Festival is a lovely sponsor of the show. And just like any other content that we do, the show is 100% independent of that sponsorship. So we're going to rock on. With that note being said, Jane, the Wisconsin Book Fest enjoys a lot of love from our city. What's the most bookish thing about Madison, or the most bookish thing you've seen happen here?
Okay, you're starting out with the tough questions, Bianca.
I want to get the juices flowing.
I think the most wonderful thing that I've been experiencing recently, and I'm going to tie it specifically to this year, the Madison Public Library is celebrating 150 years of service to our community. And that's a big deal. I think you all have covered this a few times in different spaces on the podcast. So I just want to say that we have seen so many bookish celebrations, so many community members coming out to celebrate with us. I mean, one amazing thing that we did this spring was take a marching band, and we brought them from the Capitol Square into Central Library. And it's all in the name of books and reading and writing and community and conversation. And so I think the thing that I'm going to go with this year is this theme of like people coming together, being in person, and celebrating the amazing service that the Madison Public Library is to Madison and Wisconsin, and it's inspiring, and it's particularly bookish this year.
It's particularly bookish. I'm glad that we started the conversation there. And yes, we have talked about it on the show. I spoke with the fantastic Liz Boyd of Madison Public Library about that incredible parade. Let's bring the horns. Let's truly celebrate this moment, this incredible achievement, and all that the Madison Public Library does for our city. I mean, it's incredible. We're big Madison Library fans. I'll share mine, which is, just a testament to the fact that Madison does such good book programming, and we're going to get into that. But 3 years ago, I drove down to Madison from Baraboo, Wisconsin to see author and humorist David Sedaris, and it took me an extra 30 minutes to get in and get parked. And I'm telling you, the traffic coming into the city, it was not a Badger game. It was a book talk. And when I got here, I also saw other people from Baraboo, which is like an hour away, heading to the same event. And it's just a testament to people people really care about literature and books and connecting around books. So let's talk about this incredible fall celebration that we've got ahead. I'm super stoked to get into it. Can you first kind of share and describe what the Wisconsin Book Festival is and specifically its fall celebration?
Yes. By the way, I love that story, like caravanning from hours away. We see a lot of that and it's wonderful. And I think you're totally right. The type of people who we have in our community who just like are so enthusiastic and particularly engaged in this like very intense way. It's so fun. It's great to see. And so the book festival is presented in collaboration with the Madison Public Library, which is why I mentioned, of course, the amazing service that the public library is, as well as the foundation. And we offer free year-round programs that, like we've been talking about, spark conversation and feature authors and books of all different genres for all different ages. And it's about 100 programs a year. And the fall celebration is sort of the culmination of our author programming, and it's happening this week. So October 23rd through the 26th, it's 4 days of like literary extravaganza. You might run into some traffic. You might run into some tough times finding those parking spots downtown because we do have some amazing authors coming. So it's just this kind of back-to-back experience for wonderful readers and community members to engage directly with these authors and books who they're super excited to see.
Yeah, and you definitely have a lot of festival devotees that come every year. I know a lot of them are here on this team. Is there anything new for this fall celebration from the past years?
I think the newest thing is just the authors and books that we feature. So every year we sort of take the same approach to the programming and try to pack in as many events as possible with a variety of partners and featuring different authors, both local, regional, as well as across the country. And these books, and authors change, and that changes the dynamic. And you're right that we do have people who truly mark their calendars every year. And this is like appointment, return to Madison time and kind of consuming as much as possible that they can fit in their 4 days of the fall celebration. But we also have new audience members. And it's really wonderful to see how that changes the dynamic and changes the tone and kind of brings in new type of readers depending on if we're doing a different type of book, like fantasy or romance, which has very like sort of niche audience and readership. So I think in general, that's the special stuff that like changes year to year. We have a new communications and events associate on the team. So I'd want to mention Stephen Espada Dawson, who's also Madison's Poet Laureate.
Woo!
We're super excited to welcome him to the team, and this will be his first fall celebration. So, of course, you're going to see some different takes on the social media and the communications from the book festival leading up to, of course, and during the fall celebration. And you're going to see new series of programs that are happening off-site. So we definitely host events off-site during the fall celebration, but this year we kind of did an extra set because we have some events that we think are going to kind of exceed some of the smaller rooms in Central Library. So sometimes we need to combine those two rooms and give one event both of those spaces. So it's kind of exciting to see how that's shook out with like hosting a second trio of events at the Discovery Building on Saturday. New partnerships are always in the works. We're super excited to find those new partnerships and work with different people and communities and also the university. So I think that's the new mix. The programming always kind of shifts in a way that brings in new voices and also new attendees.
What a great, talented new hire you guys brought in. And Stephen, that's very exciting. Powerful. And y'all are activating more of the city. That is very exciting. And it just goes to show like the energy around the events. I can wait no longer before diving into them because I'm really stoked to chat. There are more than 50 authors coming to Madison this week alone. So realistically, we can't talk about all of them, right? That said, we'll link to the full lineup in our show notes, so folks, make sure to check that out. Let's get into some of those that caught my eye, starting with, first, award-winning sports journalist Jessie Garcia has a novel out, The Business Trip, which is a mystery thriller. Jessie was best known here in Madison as a sports reporter for local broadcasters, and now she's the news director for a CBS affiliate in Milwaukee. Excited to see that she's added novelists to her impressive resume. Jane, can you talk about this event?
I mean, thanks for teeing that up because it is super impressive. Jessie Garcia, her journalism career is astounding. It's impressive. It's robust. And she's also written some nonfiction books about, those experiences. But now a debut, and a debut thriller at that, that's a big deal. It's pretty amazing. And it's getting amazing reviews. It has this kind of hold your breath sort of storyline that just is propulsive. And the characters are really relatable. So it really takes you on this kind of wild, twisty, turny journey. But then you're like, I see myself in this person or this person. And it's a remarkable debut. And we're super excited to have Jessie be a part of the fall celebration and kicking off actually on Thursday.
That is such a good way to start, truly electric. And it's good for spooky season to start with a mystery thriller. Come on.
Totally.
All right. And she'll be in conversation with Anne Garvin, a former guest of this show, a superstar herself. We love Anne and a recent neighbor. If you're listening, Anne, thank you.
Yeah, Anne is so wonderful. I think she just turned in her second book not too long ago. So we're super excited for her and that adventure, and also just for her to kind of introduce and facilitate Jessie Garcia's event for the business trip. Both super dynamic people, both in, one room for 1 hour. It's going to be awesome.
An event to be at. All right. The next that caught my eye is the Wisconsin Way. That's WHEY. Cheesemaking in the Driftless. Great homophone play there. I hear cheesemakers are also coming to the library for this one. So what's the story there? And are there going to be free samples?
Okay, let's answer the last question first. Yes, free cheese samples. Love to promote this. Love that we're going to have it. We joke a lot about cheese and how it's such a Wisconsin thing, and it is. And so it's really cool that we're doing this book, but this is a compelling story of master cheesemakers and their dedication to their craft and their contribution to this very rich cheesemaking tradition. And so we've got Kristen Mitchell will be there, Nicole Bajeski and Keith Burrows, who are all co-authors. There's many co-authors, but those three are going to be joining us. And we're going to talk cheese, but we're also going to talk community and the agriculture sector and importance from our state and our economy. And so it's just going to be a really robust conversation that also will have cheese samples.
Yes, and not to bring down the work itself by being is there going to be cheese? But it is part, they're fine cheese crafters,
Yeah, these are really, award-winning, nationally recognized cheeses we're going to be munching on as we hear them talk about it. So.
And I love the word compelling, that this is a compelling story in and of itself. And I'm out here watching Chef's Table all the time. I love learning about the processes and the origins of food. So really excited about that one. Super stoked to talk about this next event, which is, I see that my friend Sasha DeBevick McKenney is coming to the fest with her new poetry collection, Joy is My Middle Name. I attended her book launch event for Joy is My Middle Name at Mickey's Tavern, which was downright magical. It was poetic in and of itself, and outside on their patio, it was gorgeous. And they ran out of books before I could get one. So I'm thrilled to say that this is also one of the events where attendees will get a signed copy of the book for free. Watch me be the first one in line. Tell me about the thought behind this choice.
So Sasha is amazing. She's hilarious. And she was the 2020-2021 JC and Ruth Hawes Poetry Fellow at UW Creative Writing Program. So she's got Wisconsin ties. And I didn't know you two were friends, but I love that. So, the roots for Sasha here run deep, and the love for her runs really deep. And then in return, I think her love and also, kind of conflicted experience in Madison is part of this book. So it's just going to be relatable, it's going to be honest, it's going to be funny. It's poems, and it's about basically crawling through your 20s and emerging in your 30s, and what that experience looked like specifically for Sasha, with Madison and kind of Wisconsin as a backdrop, and a lot of the writing that she's done in the book. Lots of people have said it's like as if you were having a very open conversation with your best friend over a really good dinner, and the buzz of life is perfect, but you're also exploring these not so perfect moments, and it's all kind of on the page with Sasha's writing. And so I have not actually met Sasha, but all of my emails and all of my conversations with her have been just delightful. I think it's going to be a really awesome evening. And as you mentioned, it's a free book giveaway. So you're going to come and we're going to hand you a copy of Joy Is My Middle Name that's going to be signed by Sasha. And truly, that's one of the most joyful things that the festival does is we give away free books, and we do that because we have amazing supporters and because it's such a part of what we do in the programming. So we want to give people the chance to walk away with some of these, written words and be able to return back to them and have that memory of being in person with the author too.
I love to hear that all of your interactions have been nothing but joy. That totally tracks, and that you underscored just how Madison Sasha is. And you said that you've heard it described as like sitting with your best friend, like over a good meal. She also worked in the culinary scene in Madison. Like she is very like such a person you want to hear about their experiences from the 20s to the 30s, because she's also hilarious and so talented and getting so much recognition, and so grateful that she was coming back and that you guys picked her, because it's just a joy for anyone who gets the opportunity to go to this event.
I really can't wait.
And speaking of beloved friends, want to plug another festival event where books will be given out. Dexter Patterson, aka the Wisco Birder and co-founder of the BIPOC Birding Club of Wisconsin. I just spoke with him on the show this month about his brand new book that you guys are featuring for an event, Birds of the Great Lakes, and talked about fall bird migration. So y'all listening, if you haven't listened, go back and listen to that conversation and go to the event, because it's going to be fantastic.
It is. Dexter is hilarious. I mean, just like,
let's go.
That's his like signature. He truly has emailed me multiple times, just let's go, all caps, exclamation points. So like, that's going to be the energy. And he really cares. Like he loves being out in nature. He loves connecting with his community through these experiences, looking at birds and observing the world around us. So I'm so excited. And just to pull back the curtain a little bit, as the book festival director, I get kind of preview catalogs for books that are coming out ahead of time. So this spring, I was looking at books and I was scrolling and I saw like Dexter Patterson, Birds of the Great Lakes. And I was like, oh, amazing. Like, we're definitely doing this. So I was like, I emailed him and said like, we want to have you for the fall celebration and we're super excited and it's really great timing. It recently came out. Of course, you just talked with him. So, and it's also super special because, again, the fact that he's from here and has this community, he's going to be talking with one of his friends, Jasmine Banks, about the book. And I just think that there's something you just, that's the extra special thing that we do here, which is like really highlight not only these amazing authors, but like the community that they surround themselves with and the people who are also experts and can localize, these experiences and kind of have these shared conversations.
I want to talk about another book talk to catch is Dr. Karida Brown and her book, The Battle for the Black Mind, which is a critical look at the history of the education system in America and the racial inequality within. This is one of several books in the festival that covers a pretty heavy topic, right? And the ideal is to educate folks on real societal issues. I want to talk about that book. And I also want to ask, how do you balance the fun and entertaining discussions with the deeper, more complex talks?
Well, first of all, Krita is amazing, award-winning author and public intellectual. She's professor at Emory University and seriously a scholar on these topics. And so who better to lead a serious and thoughtful and intentional discussion than these types of people? I mean, these are the people we want, to bring forth these issues and have a dialogue that is meaningful, and we do learn and we come together and we maybe debate, but we also walk away having listened, and engaged in something that is real and happening around us, to our communities, to our friends, to our families, to ourselves. So the book festival does not shy away from that. We want to have fun, and we want to talk about cheese and eat cheese, and we want to also explore the world around us with books like with Dexter and The Birds and, everything in between, and music. But it also really is important. We're in a very interesting time to be living, and a lot of these things and the experiences that we are facing are rooted in history. And so with this battle for the Black mind, we can dig into where are we and how did we get here and what is the history, and let's be critical in our investigation of the foundational roots of racial inequality in American education. Let's really talk about it. In conversation with Dr. Brown is going to be Keisha Lindsay, and she's an associate professor of the Department of Gender and Women's Studies and Political Science at UW. Her research is about feminist political theory, Black feminism, Black masculinity, and gender-based politics. And so this is the perfect person, again, to kind of dig into this historical examination and also bring it to the forefront of where we are currently and what studies Professor Lindsay is working on and what her research can tell us about what's going on in Madison and in Wisconsin. And I think that conversation is how we are able to not, just have the fun. And we want to have the serious conversations too, but we want to do it in a very intentional and researched and educational way.
So well said. I'm just going to leave that. People think on that for a second. Obviously, I just shared some of my must-sees or must-go-to events and books. You put so much thought and energy and effort behind this to do just what you described, having these educational conversations thoughtfully. You and your team, of course. So I want to turn and ask you, what talks are you specifically excited about? Obviously, you shared excitement for some that I shared as well, which is great. But what other ones should we be paying attention to?
Well, I want to shout out for our younger readers. So we do youth programming throughout the year, but then we always have this very special event that, Bianca, I know you're familiar with.
Yay!
It's the We Read Youth Voices writing contest and author reception. So Bianca, you can speak a little bit about your experience being a judge of this contest, but it's put on by the Madison Public Library and Forward, the soccer team, and we do this big contest for younger writers to submit on a theme, a work that they have originally created and written, and then we pick some winners, the judges pick some winners, and then during the fall celebration, we actually host them as a featured event. So they get this amazing experience where they come to the library and they grab their author badge from the book festival, and they get to sign copies of the anthology, which prints, 50 of the written stories. And the top winners actually get to do a reading. And it's just this wonderful celebration of, our youth and how insightful and creative they are. And I just think it's a really unique moment. And it's in the mix of all of these other authors who have, national recognition. And so it's really inspirational and fun and a true celebration of our community and our younger voices, which they are the future. And we need to celebrate them and we need to support them in creative endeavors as well as educational endeavors. So that's what this is. So I think that's really fun. And I just want to recognize our commitment to having that be a part of this 4-day festival. And then also right after that, we have a shadow puppet show, which is really fun. It's a bilingual retelling of Don Quixote by the Dragoncillo Puppet Troupe. It's in partnership with some new partners, including the Institute for Research in Humanities and the Center for the Humanities at UW-Madison. And they're going to come put on a shadow puppet show in both Spanish and English. And it kind of follows right after that We Read program. So it's just a really good time for families and readers of all ages, of course, to just come on down to the lower level of the Central Library and enjoy some more youth-centric programs.
Oh my gosh. Could there be a better story for for shadow puppets? That sounds fantastic. And of course, I've had the We Read competition event on my calendar for a hot minute. So I'm really excited to come in person. And I'm so glad that you highlighted it because it is a highlight of my year. The past 2 years, I've been able to be a judge. And this year, the theme was roots. And I judged with last year's Youth Poet Laureate, Justin Fesky Russell, who was the loveliest. He's a hip hop artist here in Madison, a first wave scholar status person. And honestly, I have just the utmost respect for this program and competition that you all do because it is giving the next generation a feeling like their voice matters and they're so good. It's so hard to judge them. They are truly worthy of being printed in this anthology, and narrowing it down is a task. And I'll be laughing and crying, and those stories really stay with me. So I am so glad that you highlighted that as a part of the fest. And it's something I'm certainly excited about.
And then really quick, just a few others. Melissa Febos is coming for the dry season. It was released this summer. It made a splash. It's on NPR Book of the Day, New York Times, LA Times. It's this examination of solitudes and freedoms and feminist heroes that Melissa discovers during a year of celibacy. She's wise, she's transformative, and she's looking at relationships, but she's also looking at self-knowledge. I think it's one that you're going to want to get your notebook ready, get your pencil sharpened, because she's going to drop a lot of really, really great knowledge. And I'm looking forward to hearing from her. And then I want to call out Lily King. So Lily King is a novelist. She's coming for her 6th novel, which is just recently out. It's called Heart the Lover. It's about desire. It's about friendship. It's about loss. And it's fiction, but also who can't relate to all of those things. Emma Straub calls it a masterpiece. And Lily is on tour, across the country, and she's coming to Madison.
She's hip.
Very hip. So I'm excited for her in the fiction realm of things. And then we're going to close out on Sunday with 2 really fun events. The first being Martha Barnett, the host of a popular radio show called Away with Words. And she's actually written a book. It's called Friends with Words, Adventures in Language Land. And I got Grant Barrett, her co-host for the radio show, to also come and join. So it's going to be the 2 of them in person, talking about language, exploring with that same warmth and energy and enthusiasm for the way we speak to each other and how that changes over time and cultural and societal events kind of shape the way we talk to each other. So super fun. And that's at noon at Central Library on Sunday, October 26th. And then we're closing out with Mary Roach. She's a New York Times bestselling popular science and humor writer. She's hilarious. This newest book from her is called Replaceable You: Adventures in Human Anatomy. So she's basically going to take us on this like rollicking exploration of the puzzle that is the human body, and then this quest that we all seem to be obsessed with, like recreating its impossible complexities. So she's going to like dig into the research and studies of, repurposing other animals for human anatomy and body parts, and it's going to be fun. And she's closing us out on Sunday starting at 1:30 at Central Library.
Organs, yay.
We need them.
We need them, and they're fascinating and complex. I'm just thinking about, I'm very in the Halloween mindset.
I love it.
And I also love biology. Those are so exciting, and seriously, tremendous job. I know it's about to get kicked off. I wonder if anyone might be curious if you'll have any online streaming of events, like in terms of accessibility. What's the word there?
Yeah, the word on accessibility is we don't live stream our events, but we record almost all of our fall celebration and really all book festival events that we can. There's a few exceptions at some offsites, or, if tech goes completely awry, sometimes it just doesn't happen. But our intention for accessibility is to record all events, and then we post them on our website directly on the event listing, as well as you can follow us on Crowdcast, which is where the whole catalog of many book festival events in the past and also future book festival events will be posted.
That's huge. And I'll say something that I've noticed on my Libby app is that there you guys have a lot of these books available to be checked out. I've already cracked into the Word Nerd book that you talked about with the radio show. And I do want to, before I let you go, ask if you have any words of advice or tips on how people can make the most of the author events and navigate the fall festival celebration.
Oh, I'm so glad you asked about this. Okay, so my tips follow. Take some time, look at that complete, schedule and kind of plot out what you're feeling, but also leave a little room for some spontaneity. I think some of the best moments and that I hear about from people are like, I just had this free hour and I ran into someone and they were headed downstairs to this event and it ended up being so awesome. And then I was in the library, so I went into the library system, like you were just saying, Bianca, and I checked out the book. Or I bought one from our local booksellers who are on site at all book festival events throughout the 4 days. So I think those organic moments and moments of spontaneity, leave a little space for those. I also recommend, pack some water, pack some snacks on Saturday. It's a big day. It's full on, from 9 a.m. till, 8:30 p.m. Our last event wraps up. So pack some snacks, pack some water, and hit up the coffee cart. Cafe Domestique, we're so excited to have them back for coffee on Saturday on the 3rd floor of Central Library. It's free coffee and specialty drinks that also aren't caffeinated in case that's not your thing. And so that's a really fun thing to kind of get you through the day as well.
Adding to the cozy vibes.
Cozy as well. I think there's a pumpkin spice latte or some iteration on the menu. So it's fall vibes for sure. And then I would say, come a little early. We have about a half an hour in between events. And some of these events, especially the book giveaway ones, are going to be pretty popular. So we advise you to, show up a little early and get that spot in the audience, get that chair exactly where you want to be. And I think just have fun, engage, ask a question to an author. Or, if you don't want to ask it in front of the audience, you can get your book signed or ask them something afterward. The authors are so excited to come to Madison and talk to their readers, and they're really here for it. And so I think just enjoy those in-between moments as well and leave some space.
Jane, this is so lovely. The exuberance is palpable. We're going to use fun words because we're talking about the Wisconsin Book Festival, fall celebration. Jane, thank you for taking the time, and we'll see you around the festival.
Thank you, Bianca. Thank you, CityCast. It was a true pleasure.
That's Jane Rotunda, director of the Wisconsin Book Festival. That's all for today, here on CityCast Madison. I'm your host, Bianca Martin. Don't forget, you can support the show and get great perks by becoming a CityCast Madison neighbor at membership.citycast.fm. If you enjoyed the show, why not share this episode with your most bookish friend, and then tell them to share with their most bookish friend. We're looking to grow our audience so more folks, more Madisonians, and our Madison neighbors, folks out in the suburbs, can be in the know of what's happening in our hamlet. So help us out. Share this episode and let them know where you can listen and subscribe, which is anywhere you get podcasts. All right, we'll be back tomorrow morning with more stories from around the city. Until then, take good care and thanks for listening.